This is the 2025 Volkswagen Jetta GLI Autobahn edition. It's basically the better, faster, cooler version of the Jetta. This year it starts at just over $32,000, and the GLI is only going to come in the Autobahn trim like you see here. The GLI gets a few things on the exterior that help set it apart from the regular Jetta, like these two grills, the red you see here, the red badging, and then this light bar comes standard. I think it comes on a few of the other trims, or you can add it on. They call this color Monument Gray, and if I were a valet and you told me to go get the gray Volkswagen, I don't think I would pick this car out of a crowd, but I think it looks like a nice sky blue, and it's a nice change from the regular gray that every automaker is using these days. The GLI is going to get a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder for 2025, which is better than the Jetta's 1.5-liter 4-cylinder. That's going to get you 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, which for how small this car is plenty. Ours is an automatic, but you can also get a 6-speed manual in 2025. The GLI is going to get these 18-inch machine alloy wheels, and then it sits just about half an inch lower than the standard Jetta, which gives you a little bit better ride and a little more aggressive look. It's also going to get brakes from the previous generation Golf R in the front, and then on the back they're just a little bit larger for more stopping power. On the back, you're going to get this black honeycomb down here, and you're getting wider exhaust so you can hear that engine. And then we'll try and go in the trunk here if I can pop it correctly. Tons of cargo space, as you can see. All of our stuff is in there as usual. So on the inside of the GLI, everything is very touch oriented and digital. There's a ton of piano black plastic, and usually I hate that, but the way that they've angled the main screen over here kind of prevents you from seeing fingerprints all over the place, so it's not terrible, and it's pretty responsive. The funny thing is that all of these, obviously the radio, the media, all of your touch buttons over here are in one place, but when you run your hand by it, more menus come up and more options come up. Otherwise, all of your climate controls are down here, and those are also going to be controlled by touch. So you have to touch the little fan to turn your fan down. You have to touch the blue area to make it colder and the red area to make it hotter. I'm sure that you would get used to it, but I do love a real button. The only real knob that you're getting here is for your volume, and then there's one on this side. Everything else is touch. Down here, you're going to have your drive modes, which are Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Custom. Custom, obviously, you can save your preferences and pull that up whenever you want it. And then really, you have a cool 12 volt, and I guess you could have a cigarette lighter in here if you wanted, which is so vintage of it. But otherwise, there's a little 12 volt. There's one USB-C plug in the center console here, 2 cup holders, and then you have a bunch more touch buttons on your steering wheel, which are fine. Those are easy enough to get used to. Your dashboard is fully digital as well, and you can change the different views. I've been keeping it in this one because it kind of gives you more information, but otherwise I think it's a good digital screen. It gives you all the pertinent information that you want right at your fingertips, and I really think that you would get used to this system and all of the touch after just a couple of days. All right, we've talked about the outside and the inside of the GLI, but now let's take it for a drive. So far, I've mostly just driven it in eco and comfort mode because there's been a lot of traffic. But when I was trying to get on the highway the other day, I threw it into sport and it was pretty quick. And it's just been fun to drive. I mean, they're kind of all fun to drive, let's be honest. But the GLI is certainly more fun to drive than your standard Jetta. So all of the upgraded suspension makes a big difference when you're driving around, I think. There's a bunch of stuff that's tuned on it that makes it more comfortable to drive around. And it really does a good job of soaking up all of those bumps and all of the crappy roads that I'm driving on in Florida. One thing I will say is that it has the most aggressive lane keep assist. the craziest lane keep assist that I have ever experienced in a car. We don't use turn signals in Florida, as you might know, but if you don't flick your turn signal and like let it know that you are going to change lanes, it will like rip you back in the lane. This thing is crazy. 5.6 seconds. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was pretty right on cue. Not bad. I wonder what it's like not in sport mode. Let's see. All right, now let's change our drive mode. Let's put it in eco. Well, we'll put it in comfort. Let's see what we get. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not bad. Not bad. Still did it. You can definitely feel a little bit of a difference in the steering and just the overall feel of the car when it's not in sport mode. I'll put it back in sport mode. You can also put it in custom mode and then set it up exactly how you want. I feel like most cars have that these days though. Okay, so see, it did not want to let me turn because I didn't turn the turn signal on. You can obviously turn off all of those features and safety systems, but I try to keep them on and keep them at their highest level just to see how well they work, because it's important to know if they're good or bad. And this one is really aggressive, which is helpful, you know, like some people really like an aggressive lane keep assist these days. So we noticed that the door on our cool Volkswagen here makes a funny noise when you open it, so I'm gonna let you hear it. And then when you close it. So unfortunately, I don't know what this piece is called, but over here, to keep the door from opening all the way, I guess, it's not like fully torqued in there, so it's moving a lot. I'm sure, that's a classic Volkswagen piece that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. I'm sure that the dealership can correct it, but it does make an interesting noise every time you open and close the door. I think that the GLI is a great performance-based car that doesn't get too expensive and you're not really sacrificing any comfort. It's also really affordable at just $32,000. I do wish it had a couple more buttons, but we will persevere. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, but thank you so much for watching.